Thank you for tuning in live to this little YouTube live stream. I don't think I've actually ever done one of these to YouTube live like this, just in the apartment chatting. What I wanted to do is film some videos tomorrow. So I'm just going to basically be around. If you got any questions, put them in the chat. And otherwise, I'm just going to set up some tripods, some camera gear, show you a little bit of a behind the scenes glance at how I film these videos. I did a behind the scenes previously on my Facebook, just a real short live stream, but I did it at like 9 a.m. in the morning. So it got a few views after the fact, but not during. So I just thought I would do this one a little bit later in the day. Hey, how you doing? Thanks, Hannes, for the question. I'm doing good. Like I say, I'm just going to do a little bit of not work, but video gear setting up, and let's get started. Like I say, throw some comments in there if you've got them. I'll be checking the iPad. But first of all, I tell you what, I'll show you how I'm live streaming right now. It's a pretty easily set up just to get going, and I'm talking loud so that I can be heard over my laptop fan, but I don't think it's that loud. So right now I have this XA10 camera you're looking at right now, and it's just plugged in HDMI, goes to this little HDMI to SDI splitter, or converter rather, and that is just running along that green cable over there. And if I can just zoom in a little, you can just about see over there I have the Ultra Studio mini recorder running into a laptop, and that is what's doing this live stream right now. In theory, I would love to set up a little bit more complicated setup, but that's what that's going to be. And let's just take a look at what I'm up to here. I've got my big travel cases. These are what I bring to conferences and events. I've got two of them, and I bring both. They bring all the gear, basically. This one has the ATEM switcher in here, a few extra bits and pieces like the HyperDeck shuttle. That over there is the MIDI controller to control the ATEM that I use, some XLR cables, audio stuff. Then I have my backpack here, which has a whole load of stuff in it. Most of this stuff will actually be taken out during this video and set up for filming tomorrow. And then here is a load of bags that I like to keep, these nice little IKEA bags full of gear. That's what I tend to keep my stuff in whenever I go to events. That way I can keep everything nice and tidy and kept together. And it's a good way to, it's a good way to just at a glance I can grab this bag here, which is camera number 2. And I've listed everything that's inside that camera bag. So camera 2 will have the power cable, HDMI cable, some adapters, some other stuff. So I figure it's a good way to, at a glance, see what is in each bag and just grab it if I need that particular bag. Other than that, in there I've got some SDI cables. I have my video assist just sitting in there. Tripods that I'm going to bring out now. Some fans for the ATEM to keep it nice and cool. Some extra power adapters, blocks, whatever you want to call them. Nice to see you that we've got a few questions coming in. Yeah, that's a good question from CrazyRed07. What kind of cases do I use? These are data video cases. Data video, I will look up the model number in a minute. They are pretty good cases, but I have found that the wheels go very easily on them. So because they carry a lot of stuff, I found that the wheels aren't the best. They aren't the best wheels in the world. So I don't know if I'd 100% recommend them if you're going to be bringing these cameras or these cases around cities. That's what I tend to do. Bring them on planes around cities, and they've really taken a beating. So I find that I bring them to a random city somewhere, and cities are not known for their smooth pavements. So these cases with, let's say, 20 kilograms, 25 kilograms inside them, they're really, really beating up those wheels. So I find that they're not the best for heavy things. You think they would be good. I've tried to get the wheels replaced. Data video they don't sell the wheels separately. I don't really understand that, because you can unscrew the wheels. So I can't 100% recommend them as a solid case if you're going to do a lot of walking around. If it's a case of putting your stuff in there and then throwing it into a van or some sort of way of carrying things around that way, then these are really good. They've got nice foam padding inside, and you can cut out the foam around it, all that stuff. Lots of places to put padlocks if you want to lock them up, airlock for planes, for the pressure. But in terms of actually using them as a rolling case, they failed me within probably like 4 trips. The wheels were starting to really wobble. I'm thinking another couple of trips and the wheel might break off, and that would be pretty terrifying. That's why I wanted to get spare wheels, but can't get them. So yeah, pick them up if you want to. They are pretty cheap compared to Pelican cases. I will get a model number, link it somewhere. Maybe I'll throw it in the chat after a little while if I can remember what the model number was. But they are the biggest ones they make, I think. So I'll just check it out. So if you're just joining now, we're just going to be setting up for some video shooting I want to do tomorrow. I want to film at least 3 YouTube videos. That's the way I tend to do it. I tend to record in batches, so I record 3-4 YouTube videos in a row, and then that means that for a month or so I can just crank out those videos. You got your answer? Yeah, hopefully I'll find that model number for you and then give you that instead. Let me see, any more questions coming in? Orange Beard Films, that's a great name. Have you seen the Sling Studio setup? I have. The Sling Studio setup is really cool. I would love to get my hands on maybe even like a review version or something like that, because it doesn't make any sense for me to buy it because it's not really what I want to do, but I think for these videos it'd be cool to take a look at it. So maybe I'll try and reach out to them. If anybody knows anybody who works there, let me know. I don't actually know if they're available in Europe just yet, because somebody was asking me the other day if they could get them. I don't know if you can get them in Europe. Maybe I'm wrong, so it might be hard to get them, but I would love to try it out. If you have one, Orange Beard Films, I'm guessing you don't have one. That's why you're asking the question. But if you do have one, let me know what you think of it. I would love to try them out. Something like this would be perfect for that, I think. Walking around with the iPad. Is the iPad? Yeah, it is the iPad one. Walking around with the iPad right now and just switching between cameras would be pretty cool, actually. I have the ATEM for live events, so unless I was going to change to something like that, then I don't think I'll change it in the future. But for these videos, it'd be great. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, so maybe if I can get above 1,000 and I send them an email, I can show them that I'm, semi-serious about making these videos and that they might get good exposure if I can get a unit in and just have a chat about it. I'll tell you the honest feedback and I'll have a good go with it and see if it's any good. From what I hear, again, I think it's good. I am dubious about those kind of wirelessy, kind of all-in-one iPad-y solutions, so I really would like to test it and see if it's good for my uses, because I've found that those kind of systems, I don't know, you kind of lock yourself into just using an iPad that is wireless, and things go wrong when you go wireless. That's why I like to run cables around this room even. So yeah, worth checking out. But anyway, yes, I will get up again and I will continue oh, hello from my friend in Kenya. Hello, friend in Kenya. That's cool. Let me know where everybody is from. I'll stand here awkwardly and ask that. Yeah, let me know where you're from around the world. It's so random, some of the people that that comment on my Facebook page. You can go to facebook.com/here to record and send me a message through there if you have any questions. I tend to reply pretty fast through that. And Farai, is it Farai? Maybe something like that. Farai, let's say that, Farai. I think you were one of the people who went through Facebook recently, which is pretty cool. So yeah, send me a message through there if you've got any questions on any gear. some things coming in here. Cool. Huntsville and Chicago. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm going to just keep on setting up. I usually do a 2-camera setup for these YouTube videos. So one camera will just sit somewhere over here. And if you've watched these videos, I'm guessing if you're watching this live stream, you're subscribed and you've watched at least one of my show and tell videos. You probably recognize the little shelf behind me, and you probably can take a good guess about how I set these up. But basically, this Manfrotto 055 has this nice little center column setup, where you can, extend this little center column. So I tend to put that nice and high so I can get a nice down shot of the table if I'm going to be showing a product. For now, I'm going to set it up, but let me think. I'm not sure for tomorrow's videos if I'm going to actually use it. The thing is that I've got at least three videos planned, but I might throw in another one, which might be a product video, so it's always good to set this up, just to have it ready in case I end up doing a product video. So I'm just going to leave the shot a little bit while I set up this. Oh, of course, your name's Steve. Sorry, I read that thinking that was your first name, but now that I see your second name is not, your second name couldn't be media, so that's my bad. Hi, Steve. How you doing? So I set up this this tripod over here. I'll show you this in a second. It's probably not the best angle on that. Yeah, not the best angle. Let's just tweak that a little, and you just excuse the sun blasting in behind there. So set this up roughly around here. I'll tweak it later if the shot's not quite right. And yeah, that'll do there. And then for the main camera, I have a smaller tripod, which you last week's video, I believe it was last week's video, it was all about the tripods that I use for live events. And as I have the same tripods in the house, they are the same tripods that I use for the YouTube channel. Obviously I'm not going to have different tripods for different uses, because I don't really have that much space, not necessarily have that much money to spend on all these different tripods. So the ones I have are mostly purchased to serve live events, and they can work perfectly for this kind of scenario, where I can just set them up and film some videos in the apartment and then put it all away again when I'm done. Because that's the not so fun part about obviously not having some sort of studio space, is that the apartment is the place to film, so I can't leave all this stuff up all the time. So I just put it away when I need it and put it up when I also need it. So I put this tripod in here somewhere. Again, I'll tweak this in a minute whenever I get the camera over here. And that will be my sort of wide main shot. And I will put the XA10 on there in a minute. And that seems to be it for the tripods. Now I'll move on to the camera. So this is the, if you can see this all right. I've also covered this in another video. Have I? Yeah, I've covered this in the cameras we use video. But this is the, here to record. Now this is the Canon HF G25. This is a great little camera for, I use it for wide shots in conferences, but for this particular circumstance, I use it for the over the head shot in these videos. So I will use that, and of course I will need some sort of tripod head, and in this case I have the Manfrotto fluid head, whatever you want to call it, that one. And I will set this up so it gets a nice top-down view. I think I've also set up the extra mini recorder as well. So whenever I get this all plugged in, I'll show you that shot in a minute. But basically, this will go on that tripod up there and just give it a nice top-down view of the whole setup. So let's do that. I will just tweak you a little maybe so you can see what I'm doing. There, that's close enough. Shaky, there we go. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this will just sit up here. If I can figure out what way it goes on, there we go. Okay. And it'll give a nice little top-down view of whatever product I'm showing. If I'm showing a product. Sometimes I also put it in there if I'm doing like an ATEM demo of some sort, because what it can be useful for is just a variation of shots. So if I'm giving a demo like I did a few weeks ago on the, you're already up there, on the ATEM, like controlling with a MIDI keyboard or something like that. It's nice just to have another shot in there that I can use as an example when I'm cutting between two shots. So I've got it, I might as well just throw it on the tripod and set it up that way. Maybe next I will just plug that in and make sure it all works. Like I said, having the camera bags are great. So camera number 2 is what I call the HF-G25, camera number 2. And in there I have the HDMI cable that I need for that camera. I also have the power cable. They got a little bit stuck there because I was messing with them a minute ago. So what I should be able to do, in theory, is take this HDMI cable, plug it in to the G25. I say in theory, only because I didn't actually get a chance to test that it would just plug and play okay. So if I take this, plug it into the mini recorder, which is already getting hot. And if I go over, see all this stuff, I'm going to fall over and that'll be a nice fall on camera. Yeah, if I go over here, oh nice, it worked. So what I'll be able to show you now is that shot above my head. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. So what I did was I just plugged in the mini recorder before I kicked off this live stream, just so that I could hopefully just plug it in and it will work, and it did, which is nice. That's good to see. So like I said, if I'm going to be doing some sort of a live stream, nice little fade there. If I'm going to be doing some sort of, not live stream, some sort of recording tomorrow, and I've got a product overhead, then I can simply just choose this and you know, show the product. In this case it's the Apple mouse, but in other cases it might be whatever device is on show that day. Simple as that, right? Check in here and see, oh, we got somebody from Pennsylvania, cool. Somebody from Florida as well, Budapest, Hungary. Wow, there's lots of answers there to my question, that's cool. Virginia, Los Angeles, cool. Question, do you ever do picture-in-picture for content versus just showing back and forth from cameras and content? That is a great question, actually. I shall get to that in 1 second, because I want to bring you over a little bit closer and put you over there. You've been sitting on the ironing board for long enough. Yes, that is my makeshift tripod for this particular section. You were sitting on that ironing board. On my tiny little Pixie Mini tripod. You're going to shake around a little now while I take you over here and set you down for 1 second. Hopefully the audio doesn't cut out while I do that. And one other thing I need to do is put you, I know I keep saying you, put some power in the camera in a second, because I don't want it to go off while I'm making this video. So, like I said before, the shot I get is roughly around there. I'll tidy that up a little. Maybe I've got too much headroom, maybe I don't have enough headroom. And that's roughly the shot you'll see for most of my videos. I'm just getting the power cable here for that camera. I was in the UK last week. I don't live in the UK right now, but I was in the UK last week, and I've changed all my cables to be European cables, or sorry, UK cables with the UK power brick on there. So now I'm just changing back to the European one. That's what's taking me so long. I'm good at vamping while I plug things in. Anybody who just joined the live stream must be wondering what is going on. Okay, now you're powered up, plugged in. Excellent. Hello, hello, hello. Nice. I like the pressure of doing this live. I look very red. I'm not that red looking in real life. I think the color balance just hasn't quite kicked in yet. Okay, I was going to answer a question, wasn't I? The question was, oh yeah, do I ever do picture-in-picture for content? That is a really good question, because my original plan, whenever I previously, before I got the ATEM switcher, I would use Wirecast to do all of my event recording and live streaming. And in those cases, I would use picture-in-picture. I use picture-in-picture all the time. I liked that I could do picture-in-picture of the speaker and their presentation. Usually that's the kind of conferences and events I was doing. So in that case, the speaker could be down in the bottom corner, their notes could be a lot bigger, and then in the background layer there would also be a logo, maybe some information, something like that. So it would be kind of like a 3-layer picture-in-picture effect. That was what I used whenever I used Wirecast to do most of my conferences and events. Eventually Wirecast just became, it kind of got in the way of what I wanted to do. I wanted to take all of the processing away from the laptop and then just use the laptop generally. So I changed to an ATEM switcher, and that made sense. And the reason I went for the ATEM 1ME, the old HD version, if that means anything to you, is because I could do picture-in-picture in that. And that would be the kind of picture-in-picture where not really the way that I originally did it before that, which was like sort of 3 different layers. But instead, it would be picture-in-picture, like, if I can just bring this up really quickly. I'm sure that I can build a shot really quickly and show you what I mean. Yeah, okay. So I'm just building a little shot here in the hopes that I can show you what I mean with Wirecast. Okay, so I think that'll be good enough. Yeah. Maybe not. Isn't this the joy of doing things live? That you can just make it happen on the fly. Okay, here we go. So the picture-in-picture that I can now do with my ATEM switcher is is like this. All right, so I know you can't see it yet. You're about to see it, trust me. Yeah, so I have this kind of thing. With the ATEM switcher now is a little small version of the speaker, and then in the background there, instead of that being up here, instead of that being the secondary camera, it would be their notes, it would be their laptop presentation. So that's what I can do with my ATEM switcher right now, but I don't like that. I don't think it looks that nice. Often somebody has a presentation, if you watch my mouse here, they've got text all the way along their presentation, right? And then they also have text at the bottom here, so some important words are sitting right behind them in the presentation. And the picture-in-picture is blocking that presentation. So I decided not to use picture-in-picture anymore because I just don't like how that looks. It doesn't look good to me. If there's someone in the way of the shot, I just don't think it looks that nice. Some people will disagree, I'm sure, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm just trying to get rid of that now. Yeah. So I just didn't like that because it got in the way. Somebody had a nice big large image, the nice big large image, and then their face would just be covering some of the text. They might have like a URL at the bottom, and their face is in the way of the text. And you got to take away the picture-in-picture. So it was just a lot of juggling for me. There are some other reasons. Doing it live, you mean like when the boss comes over and says, "Can you do this now?" Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Crazy Ray. Just make it happen right now. So I stopped using picture-in-picture. I should have went for the original like ATEM television studio, not the one that was released a few months ago. I bought my switcher like well over a year ago, so I would have went for the original ATEM HD switcher, but at the time I wanted to do picture-in-picture. I went for the ATEM 1ME production switcher. I guess that's what it's called. It's the HD version. It's the version that doesn't have any buttons, doesn't have any screens at the front. Hopefully that answers your question, Orange Beard Films. Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear my audio. Okay, great. But maybe you're not hearing the right audio. Would that be right? Yeah, you should be. Okay, maybe something went wrong there. Hopefully it's fixed now. Yeah, so I don't know, that in terms of picture-in-picture, I just try and avoid that stuff now. I try to go for single. I'm going to unplug this real quickly, just make sure everything's working. Yeah, it is, great. I went for that ATEM because I thought I could do picture-in-picture. I didn't like the picture-in-picture that came out of it. So I don't use picture-in-picture anymore. I've said picture-in-picture too many times now. Yes, there's a feature called Super Source that you can get, but that's on the new 4K ATEM 2ME switcher. So you have the original ATEM 1ME and the original ATEM 2ME. Those are like the HD ones. Those were out years ago. The one I have overheats, so I have to keep it cool with those fans that you might have saw earlier. It's an old one. The new versions, the ATEM Television Studio HD that came out this year. That's ATEM Television Studio HD. Yeah, that's what it's called, isn't it? The one that came out this year. It lets you do some sort of DVE, picture-in-picture, I believe. And then the ATEM 1ME, the 4K version that came out, it's oldish, but it's not as old as the one I have. And the ATEM 2ME, it lets you do Super Source, which means exactly what I was explaining early with the nice multi-layered, you can have an image in the background that has a logo in the bottom corner. And then on top of that, you can layer picture-in-picture of the screens. And then to the right of that, you could do this and do all sorts of fancy things. So if I went for the ATEM 2ME 4K switcher, I could do that stuff. That's just way more than I need. It's got it must have 20 inputs or something like that. And it's way too much for me. But Crazy Red 007, you say that you got to play with one. What did you think of it? I would love to have a play with one. I just think for me it's way too big. It just has way too many features that I don't think I need, and I don't think I could carry it around in those boxes very easily either. So I don't think I'll get it in a hurry. But that's just my setup. You distracted me from what I was doing, which is setting up this this thing here. So yeah, if you are tuning in now, I was just setting up my equipment for some videos I want to shoot tomorrow for the Here to Record YouTube channel. Coming up soon, I'm going to make a video tomorrow about, well actually there's a video coming out this Friday. I've already recorded that. It's about how to record conference audio. So it's got a few different tips of how to record conference audio. So if you want to use microphones like this one I'm using, or if you want to record everything through an external switching board, or bring it into your camera and record it that way. So that's a few things that's coming up this week. And then in the future, hopefully if everything goes well tomorrow, I will record a few other videos which are budget single camera live streaming setup. So one of the most popular video actually on this YouTube channel is it's actually, I'm so surprised and happy how well it's done, but it's the what is it, multi-camera live streaming setup for Wirecast. And it's just about how to get these kind of cameras, Ultra Studio mini recorders, how do you get them all together and make a nice multi-camera live stream. But I've since had a bunch of questions through Facebook channel. Again, you can send any messages through there if you've got a question or any of that kind of stuff. We have had a bunch of questions about how to do it with GoPros, just like a single camera or even maybe two cameras, but people just want to see if you can do it with a GoPro, if you can do it on a PC. Just really simple version, of the same thing. So that's what I want to film tomorrow, is how to take a GoPro. I have a Hero 5 here, and I also have a Hero 3 here, and there's a 4 over there somewhere. So how to take one of these, bring it into your Mac and also a PC. I'll give some alternatives for that too. And then how to use OBS maybe, or if you want to use Wirecast, you can also use Wirecast Play, I think it's called, which is the free version, but it has a watermark. So I'll kind of show that kind of stuff. And then I'm also going to hopefully record a follow-up video to the multicam live streaming setup for Wirecast video. Underneath that video, I've had a bunch of questions. Some of them about GoPros, some of them about audio, some of them about a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to try and do like a nice little Q&A of that video. Questions that have been asked and answers that I hopefully have for it. And then finally tomorrow I'd like to film a little thing about setting up for top tips on how to film a conference. I have made a video before about top tips on how to live stream an event like a conference, but this time I want to make one specifically about recording conferences. I record way more conferences than I live stream. I don't live stream that many conferences at all because a lot of people don't necessarily want to live stream a conference, so that makes sense. That's why I call my company Here to Record. I don't have the logo there, but you know that, Here to Record. I mean, that's what we do, is record conferences. Live streaming is just like something we throw on top if somebody wants us to do it. So tomorrow's video will be, I'm going to record will be about filming conferences, some top tips about that kind of stuff. I have made a little script, just coming up with a few different ideas about, you know, editing fast and making sure that you record nice clean backups of everything, have multiple versions of each file, that kind of stuff. So that'll be coming out probably not for a few weeks actually. That's what I like to do, like I mentioned earlier. Record a whole bunch of videos in a row, and then that means that I can just edit them mostly once a week, upload them once a week, but I don't have to set up all this equipment. I know it's not that much equipment. I made it sound a lot worse than it's going to be, but I can just set up this equipment once every month maybe, and then when I have a free day, set it up, record 4 or 5 videos, and then I can pack it all down and put it away in the cupboard for a month before I have to touch it again. So that's cool. I like doing that. The hard thing is just trying to come up with, instead of coming up with one idea every week, I come up with like 5 ideas in a row and then film them, and then I have a few weeks off. Those few weeks off seem to just go so fast. Next thing you know, I'm setting up the equipment again and recording again, but that's okay. I like to do this. It's fun. So I think I have all of the camera angles ready. I know it all makes it sound like a lot, but it's not that many. I think I will just go through them one more time just to make sure they're all working okay. I should check the audio before I switch between cameras just in case I mess things up. No, that's fine. So yeah, my main camera, the one you're looking at right now. And then if I want to show overhead stuff, I can do that through here. If I want to edit with if I want to edit it live, which is sometimes I do that. For these videos I'm going to film tomorrow, it'll mostly probably be just this one camera. And I'll just talk into that, record it on the actual camera, and then edit it in Final Cut. Some videos with these 2 cameras, I will record in each of them and edit it with Final Cut in like a multicam session. But if I get the laptop involved, if it's, you know, what I would say is a complicated video, I would usually run everything through the ATEM switcher and actually do it that way, because I think for me, editing it as I record it helps a lot. It just means that whenever the editing or whenever the recording's done, then I can just put it in the computer and take off the start and take off the end and upload it straight to YouTube. I like that a lot. Editing the individual files from 2 cameras, even though that's not that complicated of a task, it just takes time, and I obviously have other stuff that I like to do during the week. I work and record conferences. I work on other sorts of videos for other customers and stuff like that. So making the YouTube video making process as streamlined as possible is what I want to do. It's a funny juggle between setting up all of the ATEM equipment. That takes even longer to set up, but the editing time reduces. And if I just set up these two cameras, I mean, it took me like 5 minutes to set them up. But in the end, I have two separate things to edit from, two different SD cards, import them, multicam edit between the two. So in that case, it doesn't, it's like a juggling act between which way is faster in the long run. But I would love to always edit it live. That'd be really cool. It's a nice feeling when you edit these videos live, and then, you know, live to tape, I should say. Because once I'm done, then I can just edit the last little bits and pieces and then upload them to YouTube. I think that's about it, unless anybody has any more questions. I can hang around for another minute or two. And then I will maybe try and, you know, tidy things up a little bit more and make the videos tomorrow. I tend to use natural light for all these videos, so I wait to midday-ish. If it's a sunny, not too sunny, but sunny kind of day, then I can just use natural light to film them. Someday I'll get a nice studio space that I do these in, someday, maybe. But for now, natural light is the best way to do it. So I do hope you found that useful. Thanks for everyone who tuned in, watched a part of this, all of it. I think I'll make it available after the fact as well. So if you're watching it, hopefully I'll throw some links underneath as well of things that I mentioned, and you can check those things out. I've got another question. Do I do much Facebook live work? Actually, not at all professionally. I've only really live streamed Facebook one time, which was about 3 weeks ago maybe, whenever I was doing a quick little behind the scenes style video like this one, where I just showed all the equipment set up and what kind of videos I was making. I think I had a lot more equipment set up for that because I was making a more complex video. But basically I don't do much Facebook at all. I'd like to do more. I plan to do more. I want to build up the Facebook audience. So check out the Facebook on facebook.com/here to record. I'm going to throw that in there if I can. Can you put links in? I know that viewers can't put links in the chat, but can I put them in there if I am a person? Yeah, I can. Good. Of course I can put links in my own chat. Yeah, check out the Facebook, like it, and if I get more audience in there, I'll do more live streams straight to Facebook, and then keep YouTube for my more edited videos. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I will leave it there. Thanks so much for the nice comments in there. Everyone's been really supportive. It's cool. From all over the world. I appreciate you tuning in, just watching for a few minutes or watching the whole thing. Hopefully I'll do this again. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Make sure you are subscribed. I'm guessing you're probably already subscribed if you're watching this. But if you know anybody who might find these videos useful, then please send it their way. I see I got a new like there. That's pretty cool. Maybe that was somebody who's watching live. Giuseppe, maybe. That's cool. So yeah, share this video, share this channel with somebody who you think might find it useful, and I can get more subscribers. I'm getting near 1,000, which is pretty cool. So if I can just keep that ball rolling, then I can get over that, and maybe people will send me review units of things because they'll take this channel nice and seriously, which would be cool. I'm not running out of video ideas, but having loads of ideas is great. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you for watching. This is the part where I awkwardly find the button to stop streaming, and then the stream will go off. So I'll see you in the next video. I'm talking still as I click around here and find the button. Okay, I find it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.